butterfly there. Today's walk is at the exceptionally beautiful Hooke Woods. It's quite a long straight path, although there are ways you can deviate from that. Sandie's just feeding the animals with some food that we had left over, and Lola is in her element. So here we are. I'll do a few videos as we go down the path. There's a yellow butterfly going down there, obviously not a cabbage white. I'll have to look at what yellow butterflies are, but yeah, nice to be out on a spring day. The date is the 3rd of April, so I'll check back in. Well, we're now onto the main track going down through Hooke Woods. Lola's loving it as always. Just seen some deer prints back there as well. If I see some on the ground, I'll get down low and let you see them yourself. But it really is quite a lovely day here. Oh, Sandie's just found a nice log or twig. Yeah, twig, that'll be good. So, oh, it's branch. Sorry, a cut branch. So yeah, there's some cut wood back there as well. But yeah, very nice. What are we on? 0.7 minor. Okay. Yeah. You may remember from my walk in Devon, I was wearing a cap the other day. I introduced you to Gary the cap wearer. Well, this is me today, and again I'm wearing my cap, so keeps the head warm. I don't wear my hair very long these days, so it helps with that. So here I am. We'll go back to look forward. You don't want to keep looking at me, do you? I'm sure. So back round, here we are. So Lola loves it here. It's very undulating path and quite stony as well, which means I have to watch sort of rocking the video as we go through as well. Well, the gimbal is quite stable, but it does have this habit of looking like you're rocking up and down as you go along. So you have to do what's called the ninja walk. I shall walk on this bit of grass in the centre of the path. Don't know if you can see it up through the trees there. There's a number of buildings that are all made out of wood. Now, the people who do the furniture making and craft making down at Parnham House, some of the top woodworkers in the country, or cabinet makers in the country, they come here and learn wood skills. So there's lots of different types of trees, and they learn how you fell them and saw them and dry them properly, so you get seasoned wood after a few years. So they learn the whole process. As somebody who was very keen on woodwork a few years ago, very keen on that. So some of them look quite space age. There's one up there that looks quite Japanese. Don't know if you can see that through the trees. Let's just look back along the path as well. That's where we've come from, up through there. So yeah, very nice. And so I think it was, his name was Makepeace, wasn't it, the guy who set up the Parnham House stuff. There's another view of the one of the buildings, which is raised up on stilts, all of which were built by the people who actually do their training here. Really very nice. Always makes me think of something out of War of the Worlds, the shape of that one. It looks like a space age building. And there's another little building in the woods up there which you can't quite see, which has got all the sort of shingled roof on the top. So they learn all that as well as their sort of cab making and carpentry skills. Just thought I'd show you a view into the woodland there, and yonder hills looking down towards sort of Powerstock there, that is. We walk at Powerstock as well, but you're not allowed to let your dog off the lead there now because they've got ancient cattle grazing, all part of sort of Dorset Wildlife Trust, I believe. And coming round this side, it's not ancient cattle? What are they? Oh, ancient breed, sorry, not ancient. Yeah, they're not that old. See what she means. They're picking up on the commentator, eh? So there, yeah, there's an example of some trees that have been chopped, probably by the students and their masters. Sandie just said what a lovely time of year with the primroses coming out, so I thought I'd just take a quick shot. There's some up behind them as well. Here comes Tinkerbell as well into the shot, and a dandelion in the distance as well. So yeah, it is a beautiful time of year, and the daffs are also finishing off at the moment around the gardens and things. Another pile of logs there, some quite large logs at this end, People often don't realise the size a tree needs to get to in order to make planks. You use a technique called quarter sawn, because if you actually cut right through the tree, then you end up with it warping, of course, as it dries and wets during the seasons. So you actually just use a quarter of the tree, and then you alternate whether the grain is going upwards or downwards in a sort of loop, so that the table doesn't bow up and down if you're making a table or the board or whatever you're making. So, speaking as somebody who used to make a lot of furniture, one learns all these different techniques. Examples of more trees that are sat there on other stilts or other pieces of wood, trying to dry them out, ready for taking to the sawmill. They've even got numbers on the end, some of them. So when we were last here, they were just about to build this structure now. It's got all different joints. It looks very modern in places. I'll show you some of the bits where they've done a structure to make it look snazzy. Look at this here with wires in between it, sort of fishing wire. Sorry? Yeah. Yes, a swing up there. And then you've got all this looking at a rustic roof that they've made. It's all very nice, very clever. So let's go through here, step up onto this, what looks like a boardwalk really, but then it goes into a nice triangle in the middle. So this is it here, then through the archway, Lola joining in the fun, and down to another corners they've got here. Obviously cemented those in, it looks like. There's a place where they've obviously done a place for a peg as well, to practice taking a peg out. And then looking into the distance, we've got the structure here up into the roof. It's really good, very nicely done. And a bee just come out there as well, bumblebee. So yeah, very nice. Could do with a seat on it really, couldn't they? Oh, I can see somebody's taking the best advantage of the swing up there, I see. Let's do it from a distance, shall we? Have a look. There she is on the swing in the distance, and Lola's wondering what's going on as well. I won't bother going up there. But no, very nice, good examples of what they can do with old rustic stuff but make it look modern. It's actually got a skylight in there as well to give you light. Can see this being useful if we come here and it's raining. Come and shelter from the storm, as they say. So back out now. There we are. I think it's fair to say that Lola is a water baby. She loves nothing more. If there's some water, she'll be in it. Look, she even puts her head underneath to try and get stones and things like that. Here she is. She's cleaning up the ditch there. One bit of stone out of the woods. Go on, you go then. Good girl. But yeah, slightest hint of water, you can guarantee that Lola Bear will be in there enjoying herself. There she goes again, head underwater. I swear she was a seal in a previous life. I said earlier on about there being deer prints in the mud back there. There's a good example of one pointing one way, one pointing the other, probably at different times. One looks younger than the other as well. Hope you can see that because I'm facing roughly towards the sun. There's a little plantation here of small fir trees. Probably do for Christmas trees in a stately home or something. They're quite large, probably 12-15 foot tall in places, and some smaller. But makes for the dense forest. You can see all the deciduous trees in the distance as well. So yeah, nice mix of trees. In fact, if we pan up this way as well, you'll see the forest is on both sides of the walk. So looks like they haven't had any ash die back here as well, which is good. One of the current problems in forests in the UK after the Dutch elm disease many years ago. That's the latest issue. Just looking here, Lola's up ahead, bit of a nice pathway with the sunlight on it here, and we'll pan round into the woods as well. Looks like they've opened that up a bit since the last time we were here. A few sort of stumps around, so obviously some of the things we've seen around. That's the whole purpose, but yeah, it's not as dense as it was, so very nice. And as it's a Monday today, there's no people around as well, so the joys of being partially retired. Yeah. There's Sandie. We're heading off. We'll get to a little barn thing in a moment as well. You can actually head up that way, which goes up to another car park up on the road that goes down to Hooke itself. So we've done that in the past as well and gone past the buildings that we showed you earlier on. I don't know if you can see, we've got quite a steep hill ahead of us, and at the top of that there's that barn I mentioned. You can probably hear a helicopter as well. Not sure what that's doing inland. Training for something probably, or just training a pilot maybe. It makes you think of Ukraine when you hear that sort of thing, doesn't it? Which is a very sad circumstance. 1 year, 2 months on, or 1 month on. A very dense pine forest in there, if you look. Almost dark beyond compare, although it won't look dark on here because it auto corrects. But yeah, that's then up the hill. Yeah, yes, large, almost like redwood cedar. Imagine that's cedar trees, isn't it? Yeah, they're exceptionally tall. Just look at that when I pan up. Hope you can get the perspective there. Probably these here as well. Very, very tall up in the sky. The barn that I mentioned looks like probably the houses up there. There's some planks that have been sawn in there, in that one. And then we've got logs for log burners, I imagine. Very nice size. Signs of a chainsaw on that one there as well, I'd say. And then we've got other size logs that are ready for chopping here. You can hear Tinkerbell as well running around, so some lovely sized logs. And I imagine you could use some of these for wood turning as well, just something else I used to do a lot of. I used to sell through a gallery in Abbotsbury called Danzel's. I don't get to do that anymore these days, unfortunately. Some very, very big trees here. They're going to make some nice shapes. Look at that one. The odd shape that is. Then moving along without going through the mud too much. You can see there's a whole bunch of them. Looks like some of them on the top had started to rot, so that's a bit of a shame. One there that would make a lovely tabletop. And one here as well that would make a lovely jagged edge tabletop. Let's go in a bit closer to that one, shall we? Look at that. Imagine slicing that one down such that you could make a tabletop out of it. That would be absolutely gorgeous. Bit of varnish on that, bit of end grain sharpening. So yeah, very nice. I'm back onto the path without getting my feet wet. Remember what I said about Lola will even go in a puddle? Well, there's a good example of it, isn't it? She's anything with water, she's in there. Doesn't look very savoury, mind. Lots of leaf mulch in there. Area here where they've cleared it. Clearly there's lots of stumps there. But if you get closer, which I won't do because it's a bit muddy down there, but you can see there's lots of little stakes with little trees down there. So they've replanted. Here comes Lola as well. So she's coming down the path. There she is. Yeah. So, yeah, if you look closer, Sandie's going a bit closer anyway. Should give her the camera really. Lovely blue skies today. A lovely cleared area all the way down through there. So obviously doing their forestry management properly, aren't they? Nice woodland glade down through there with a little waterfall. Coming out of a pipe it is actually, but it sounds nice. Going right the way down through there, down into the woods, little stream. Lovely place here.